Russian oligarch Roman Abramovich has allegedly been poisoned. Here's what we know. Russian oligarch Roman Abramovich and two Ukrainian negotiators were allegedly poisoned after eating chocolates and drinking water during informal peace talks last month. According to the Wall Street Journal, Abramovich, Ukrainian lawmaker Rustem Umerov, and another negotiator developed symptoms after a March 3rd meeting in Kyiv. These included peeling skin on their faces and hands, red eyes, and constant painful watering. According to a source cited by The Guardian, Abramovich also lost his sight for several hours after the incident. The poison may have consisted of organophosphates, the base chemical in nerve agents, according to one former chemical weapons colonel cited by Marca, though investigative outlet Bellingcat said the poisoning occurred through an undefined chemical weapon, adding that initial symptoms abated the next morning. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky is also known to have met with Abramovich, but was not affected, according to Bellingcat, and all of those involved have since recovered. As to the motivation behind the attack, allies of the poisoned men blamed hardliners in Moscow, who allegedly wanted to sabotage talks to end the war, according to The Guardian. As of now, in what The Guardian describes as a rare case of Washington and Moscow agreeing on something during the past month, both U.S. and Russian governments have given signals they do not believe the poisoning story. However, BBC security correspondent Frank Gardner said it would not be surprising if the U.S. wanted to dampen such suggestions, as chemical weapon used by Russia in Ukraine could push them into retaliatory action that they are extremely reluctant to take. And of course, if the allegations are true, it would not be the first time Russia has been linked with poisoning Russians outside of Russia. At the end of 2020, CNN reported it had worked with Bellingcat to determine how the opposition politician Alexei Navalny was poisoned with a nerve agent called Novichok. CNN said it obtained Russian phone, airline, and hotel records that showed the movements and communications of members of Russia's Federal Security Service who shadowed Navalny. According to CNN, Navalny and his team were always watched by the FSB, but a special FSB unit specializing in toxins and nerve agents started trailing him a week before the poisoning incident. The phone of one of those agents pinged a phone tower from near Navalny's hotel on the night before he fell ill, and CNN says toxicologists believe Navalny was poisoned that night. Navalny has said he doesn't know when it could have happened, but he does remember taking a few sips from a cocktail that tasted terrible before going to his hotel room. Toxicologists say Navalny was poisoned with Novichok, which could have been sprayed on his hotel laundered clothes, his hotel pillow, or put in his hotel shampoo. Elsewhere, just last year, according to the BBC, UK police said they had identified another suspect in the infamous Salisbury Novichok attacks, which left 4 people critically ill and 1 dead. Former Russian agents Sergei Skripal, his daughter Yulia, and police officer Nick Bailey were exposed to the substance in 2018. Dawn Sturgis died after finding a perfume bottle containing the nerve agent months later, and her boyfriend Charlie Rowley also became ill. UK detectives had previously named 2 Russian intelligence officers as suspects, accusing them of smearing the military-grade nerve agent Novichok on the handle of a former GRU officer, Sergei Skripal's front door. And then finally, there is the equally high-profile case of Alexander Litvinenko, where a 2016 British inquiry suggested the ex-Russian KGB agent's 2006 death involved 2 assassins from Russia's Federal Security Service and a cup of cold green tea. Inside the tea was a dose of polonium, a radioactive isotope 1 trillion times more toxic than cyanide. It emits radioactive alpha particles that are easily absorbed by other materials. High levels of polonium contamination were found inside and outside a teapot at a bar in London's Millennium Hotel. Certain areas inside the bar were also found to have traces of polonium-210. The 2 assassins reportedly invited Litvinenko to the bar on November 1, 2006, to discuss a business deal and had ordered that fatal cup of cold green tea for him. The U.S. Justice Department is launching a special unit to enforce sanctions against Russian government officials and oligarchs targeting their yachts and other assets. The U.S. has already joined the European Union and other allies in targeting Russian elites and their family members with sanctions including freezing assets. Now, as Rolling Stone reports, Alisher Usmanov's yacht was seized by German authorities Wednesday. It is launching its klepto-capture task force to enforce its sanctions. Anger against those seen as playing a part in the Russian invasion of Ukraine has been widespread even outside of state actors, with a Ukrainian sailor arrested Saturday in Spain after admitting to trying to sink a yacht owned by the head of a Russian state arms firm, stating it was retaliation for the invasion. Responding to the change in mood, at least 5 super yachts owned by Russian billionaires were in the Maldives on Wednesday, which does not have an extradition treaty with the U.S., according to Reuters. The basis for the state-based economic sanctions aimed at oligarchs and their families is, according to CNN, that they can unsettle a very personal element of the Russian economy, in which Vladimir Putin's so-called inner circle and the family members tied to them represent an extraordinary consolidation of wealth and power inside the country. As Russia's invasion of Ukraine enters its second week, the Washington Post explains that many of Russia's billionaires have served high up in Putin's government or been instrumental in providing financing either for the Russian president personally or his government's efforts abroad, according to EU officials.
For more news animations and explainers, hit the subscribe and bell button to join the TomoNews family. Thanks for watching.